is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
Share this with your friends and family and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. You are in the right place. You are in the right place. I just want to tell you, though, don't change the channel, because if you change the channel, you'll probably miss the important part, right? So I have a great guest this evening. I have Kelley Tyan, and she is really wonderful. She has actually gone from having some issues in the past. And this show is going to be about transformation for sure. So get your pen and paper out and get ready to take some notes. I'm going to put some things down that you do want to take note of. Tell your friends and tell your family. I also want to thank Total Coatings for their support, as well as supporting the Chemo Buddies for Life. I think everybody has been touched by cancer in some manner, and this is a support group, so reach out to them, Chemo Buddies for Life, cb4l.org. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and bring Kelley on stage with us. Here she is. Hello.
Hi, how are you? It's so thankful to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you are here. You have a great story that I would really love for you to share with the viewers, because that's what I do, is transformation, that hopefully that everybody will have the opportunity to join us this evening. You can watch this on E360 TV on your big screen if you want. And we're under the Positive Vibrations tab. Just download that E360 TV platform and go to Positive Vibrations, Get to Know broadcast. So I want you to share a little bit about you. You're a prayer warrior, and you're a mother of 2, and you turned your life trials into a movement of faith and empowerment. And it's about pray, lead, and empower movement. Can you tell us more about that movement, Kelley?
Absolutely. So thanks again for having me. I'm really excited to be here and just empower the listeners tonight. What I do today, and I'll take you through my Pray, Lead, Empower movement, but where this all came from is breaking free. I say helping people break free from the prison of their minds. You know, like instead of staying stuck in your nasty, negative, doubtful thoughts, I help people through all the things that I've been through in my life. I help people break free from that. And I believe that we all are capable, right? We don't have to stay in those dark places. And there were times where I stayed in them a little too long. So to go back, I mean, I've had numerous trials throughout my life, going way back to The first one being
Mhm.
I was pregnant before I got married, and I was young, and I had to go home and tell my parents, and it rocked me. And now I grew up in a faith-filled home with very
Right.
loving parents. Like my mom was very faithful. She loved Jesus. We're Christians. So for
Hmm.
all of you that are listening, we're faith-based Christian home. That is where I grew up. So I knew about God. I knew about having a relationship with him. But, I was a teenager and doing my own thing and going to college and then graduating. And I was living the high life, the fast life. And I ended up getting pregnant, and I had to come home and tell my dear parents, who just were so loving. And it broke my heart to have to do that, but I did. And I ended up having the baby after much thought myself.
Hmm.
And then I came home, moved home with the baby because the relationship didn't work. And that was one of the first moments in my life where I had to get myself together and say, I'm going to do this. I'm not going down. I'm going to be the best mom I can be, no matter
Hmm.
what. I'm a single mom right now. Thankfully, I did meet the love of my life just 2 short years later, and I've been married to him since. So we've been married over 20 years, well, 20 years actually. And,
Wow.
but that
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. But that was really one of the first times I had to say, I can do this. And I had to start speaking to myself instead of
Hmm.
listening to the lies that my thoughts were trying to tell me. So fast forward through life, I ended up getting married. But another really pivotal moment in my life was being diagnosed with breast cancer at 34 years old. And at that point, I had already had my second child with my husband. My second child was 2, and
Hmm.
and as you know, talking about cancer, right? We know it
Yeah,
affects all of us, and
it
it
does.
affected me personally. Yes, and
It does. It affected me too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I lost my second wife to cancer at a young age, and
oh,
I think everybody out there either has maybe experienced cancer, or they know somebody that has. Yeah,
it's sad to say, but you're right.
I know.
But I always told cancer might be but my diagnosis, but it's definitely not going to be my story. And I'm going to
Absolutely.
overcome this. Only as I told you, being a Christian and following God, I knew that I had to put my faith and trust in him. And I
Right.
knew that no matter the outcome, he'll take care of me. I didn't focus on the outcome. I focused on what I could do every day to be present with my children, my husband. How am I speaking to myself every single day? Of
Mm,
course, I had pity parties. It's a scary thing to go through. We all know that have been through. If you're a cancer survivor or you're going through cancer right now, I'm
right.
with you. No, it's
Yeah.
very scary. But the fact is we don't have to stay in that prison that in our minds.
Right.
There's faith, there's hope, there's people out there that want to support you. And that's what I did. I reached out to those people that I knew I could count on to pray for me. I reached
Hmm.
out to people I know would, empower me during that
Right.
time, because not everybody is going to do that, unfortunately, right?
Right.
Not everybody in
Right.
our circle sometimes is going to give you a good word. Some people didn't even want to talk to me about it. They didn't even ask me how I was doing, and that's okay. But I wanted to be around empowering people, faith fueled people, to keep my thoughts focused
Mm,
on faith, because I believe that we all need to feed our faith and starve our fear, because fear is creep in, right? I always say that over and over. Okay, Kelley, whatever you're going through, let's feed your faith and starve the fear. And that's what I do over and over. Like every day, it's a struggle. But that was just another pivotal moment of turning my trial into a victory in my life. And And it's done by our thoughts. It starts with our thoughts, and
Mm-hmm.
it starts with hope, and it starts with faith. And yeah, that's just two glimpses of things that I've been through in my life.
That's the fact that you're able to share it even is powerful, because a lot of people don't want to share about it, and they'll tend to want to withdraw, and um,
Yeah.
overcoming those obstacles that might be facing us is a big deal. It's a big deal. How do you feel that having overcome the obstacles that you have has um, made you happier, um, gave you the peace that you have, and what kind of a lasting peace have you derived from accepting the fact that, yeah, I had these things, that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's a mindset. And
Yeah.
again, my focus is on my faith, and that's where I find my peace every single day. I don't think I would be here if I didn't have my faith in God, because there's just been many times, like just going through grief and losing my mother 7 years ago, 8 years ago, was another trying time in my life. But I just try to focus on the hope I have in the Lord, that no matter what, I don't know the future. I don't know what's
Right.
going to happen next for me. What I do know is what I'm in control of, and I'm in control of my praying. As you mentioned in the beginning, my
Right.
tagline,
Prayer
my
warrior.
brand is pray, lead, and empower. And what that means is, for me today, I've learned to pray my way through my days. I coach women and show them how to pray your way through your days, because life is going to throw curveballs. Life is going to
Yeah.
throw punches, gut
Hmm.
punches at us in a diagnosis. Maybe somebody walks out on you in your relationship, or you wake
Hmm.
up one morning and life is just different. And it's very hard to deal with. So I've learned to use prayer as my tool to help me get through those very hard times. And to go further, the empower piece is how I've learned over the years, how do I empower myself? No one's coming to my door, knocking on my door and saying, "Here, Kelley, I'm going to empower you today so you can get out of bed and stop sulking. Like, let's go." No one's
Hmm.
doing that. So we have to learn how to empower ourselves from the minute we wake up. And for me, that's reading my Bible in the morning before
Hmm.
I do other things, because I want to fuel my thoughts with positivity, with things that are going to light me up, with overcoming statements that only the Bible can give me. So I've learned how to empower myself with affirmations and declaring things over my life during the day. Like, I wake up in the morning, and sometimes one of my declarations is, "I can't, Lord, but you can." Like, I know I can't, but you can. Whatever it
That's
is that I'm facing, whether it's my job, I have to make phone calls that day. Sometimes in my human strength, I'm weak, and
hmm
but in God's strength, I know He'll help me get those things done. Because listen, we don't always feel like doing all the things, right? We don't
right.
always feel like getting on the podcast tonight at it's like,
Right.
but God empowers me because I have a message to give to people. I want to bring hope to the world, and I want to help people feel empowered from the inside. And prayer does that, along with my declarations. And then the pray, lead, empower, the lead part is really asking yourself, how are you leading yourself? Are you leading yourself into spiraling out? Are you leading yourself down roads that you shouldn't be going on? And it's all about being aware of how you're
Yes.
leading yourself, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, it's so important to be aware of how you're living your life, because I know for me, at one point years ago, I was just living. I was just going about my business. Day by day was the same.
Hmm.
Everything was monotonous. I never felt I was growing. My faith sure wasn't growing. So I had to make choices. How can I better my life? Well, first I have to start within, and I have to start leading myself that way.
Hmm.
And then I have to
Hmm.
start empowering myself. And then, as I told you, prayer is my strategy for everything.
And so you adopted a new routine, is what it sounds
I
like. Um,
Yes, exactly.
Having
Yep.
a healthy routine is a big part of being able to move to the next step. Um, when we decide, well, maybe number one, not feeling bad about what might have happened in the past, because truthfully, I mean, I think it was God's uh, knew about it before it ever happened thing. And so, yeah, it is part of an experience. But what I'm finding is these experiences are allowing us to uh, share it with others so that they can go, hey, I'm not alone. And then hopefully make the choices with the healthy routines and the healthy diets. And I definitely agree that, we need to have the Lord, and we need to count on him to provide the answers and provide the purpose for us.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it sounds like that's what you've certainly done. So how does consciousness play a part with that?
It's everything. It's being conscious about what decisions you're making. What am I saying? How am I speaking to myself today? That's the most important piece of it all, is being conscious of what you're saying on a daily basis. I mean, we can speak life into ourselves or death. And I've done
Right.
both. I'm not saying I've
I have
always
to.
been, right? Like I remember for years, I remember just living in fear. So I'll tell you a story. My daughter, who she's 25 now, but 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, she
Mhm.
was in a very tragic car accident. And I saw the whole thing because I was driving in front of her. She was
Mm.
following me. So I witnessed it in my rear view mirror. And
Okay.
it was just terrible. It was awful. Her car spun, it flipped, glass shattered. My body went into it was shell shock, and I had to get out of the car as her mother and go to her car door. I wasn't sure what I was going to see inside because of what I saw and witnessed, but she ended up, she's okay, as you know, because now we have a podcast together. So I'm very blessed and
Mhm.
very thankful. But
Mhm.
for a while there, I lived in a lot of fear. After I witnessed that, I went into having panic attacks. I kept seeing the accident over and over in my head. You know how sometimes you go through things in life, you see things that they can just tear you up inside and cause so
Mhm.
much fear that it's going to happen again. I was fearful every time my daughter got back in a car, every time my husband got in a car. I was so scared they were going to get hit. And to tell you the truth, sometimes I still struggle with it now, 4 years
Mhm.
later, because I know the devil's trying to remind me of this
Right.
accident all the time and bring the fear
Right.
back in. But I'm conscious of it, as you said, and I know that I have to, in order to overcome that fear, it's a choice for me. I had to say faith over fear, Kelley. Stop, I had to stop the track of that cycle of
Mhm.
thinking, and I had
Mhm.
to shift. I had to be very mindful of how I was thinking. I had to write things down, like, so it all comes down to being conscious of our thoughts, because they will
Mhm.
tear us apart and it will linger, and you'll stay in these awful head spaces for too long. And I know that's not what God wants for us at all.
No.
He doesn't want
No,
us living in.
that's definitely, I think, what the devil wants for us, for sure. He wants us
Yes.
to be upset. He wants us to be worried about things, feeling like we're out of control. He wants us to give up,
Yes.
and not follow through with what God wants us to do, which is know that we are special, we are unique. It's okay what we've been through. Jesus died on the cross for our sins, and as a result, we have the opportunity to let go of the past. Um, you said several things tonight that, yes, I was thinking about, fear being a lack of faith. is what I definitely believe. And yet fear is a big thing for a lot of people, but it is about a thinking thought, because our thoughts that come from our past are what dictate what we can do or do today. And
Mhm.
so when we get a hold of this and recognize that that's what's happening, um, we're just one step closer to success, is what I feel.
It's so right, and but this takes a lot of work. I have been putting
Yeah.
in my time. I mean, I'm telling you, like journaling, writing
Hmm.
down my thoughts, because
Hmm.
I wanted desperately to not feel that fear the way I was feeling it. I would do anything, and I had to surrender all my thoughts to God and say, "Take this from me, please." Every time it kept coming back into my head, if it came 1,000 times a day, every day it would get less and less because I constantly would surrender those thoughts and ask God. God's very good. He's very good at wiping away those thoughts. And believe me, I never, I didn't know if I'd ever stop thinking about it. And to
Hmm.
be honest, I never think about it anymore. I don't. And I feel so free. It's almost like I was set free from thinking this way. So if he does it for me, he would do it for you, because God does not play favorites at all. He loves us
And
all the same.
I would totally agree with that, because that is, when I drank too much for many years,
Yeah.
and it got me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And as a result of quitting drinking,
Yeah.
I know that the reason why I did is because God allowed me to overcome it. And then, do I occasionally think about, yeah, have a beer or do something like that? It does come,
Yeah.
like you said. That's the
Yeah.
devil playing with me, trying to get me to make a bad choice again. And
Exactly.
that's where
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to put on the armor of God,
Hmm.
to
Yes.
overcome those, right? Yes.
Yes. Yes. Like that's what I say all the time. I need my armor or else I
Yeah.
will go down. He's going to get me. It's true, right? It's so
Yes,
true. We
it
have
is
to
so
armor
true.
up every single day. It's not like
Mm.
you can just armor up once a week. You have to put
Right,
your armor on every single day, and it's
right.
challenging. God
Yes.
created us to overcome.
He did. He did create us to overcome, and I think that that's an example. There's so many examples in the Bible of overcoming. Um,
Yes.
Certainly, Jesus was an overcomer, um,
Oh, yeah.
but so many others, even in the Old Testament and the New Testament, depending on what you do believe. Because I've been watching a lot of stuff and trying to get more information about different philosophies, that
Yep.
some of them are religions,
Yep. Yep.
and then I'm trying to not be judgmental about other religions, because you know what, we're all loved. And see,
Exactly.
that's where I go, everybody that is religious or spiritual all believe that we're loved. And that's
Yes.
what God says, we are love.
Yes.
So when we
Exactly. And
recognize that.
I love that so much, because that's why I love Jesus so much, because he's non-judgmental. Jesus took the sinners, the tax people, ripping people off,
Yeah,
the prostitutes, the
yeah,
drunks, all of us, right?
all of it,
And said,
yeah, all of it.
I love you, and I'm going to die on the cross for you because I love you. And that's all I needed to know, because I was just such a broken girl at one point in my life. I did everything wrong. I was the partier. I was out there doing everything and
Hmm.
anything. God showed up for me, and to this day, I'm so thankful that my faith and relying on him has allowed me to climb back out of those deep dark pits that I was in, and
Hmm.
it's all through him.
And
Yep.
it's interesting that you say the dark pits, because I know that's where I was too. And
Yeah.
for me, I was came on an accident too, and that's something that I'll deal with on the second half of this show, because I know that you are on a time constraint for us, and I really appreciate the fact, Kelley, that you've taken time to come and join us. You know, you're so smart, and you're helping people, and that's the beautiful part. It's about knowing that there's the opportunity for transformational change, and when we make that choice, there's people like yourself and myself and so many others that are willing to help us get there, because
Yes.
we will be challenged. Period. That's going to be,
Yes.
then the more we fight for the right, the
Yes.
more we're going to have the devil coming after us, because he just,
Exactly.
that doesn't make him happy, but that's okay. That's what we want, right? We don't want
Exactly.
him to be happy.
Exactly. Yes. I always say, I heard somebody say, like, this is war. And I say it to him,
Yeah.
like, that devil's coming at me. This means war. I'm ready. I am ready. And then I
Yeah.
start with my Bible verses, and I don't know a ton of Bible verses,
Right.
I wish I did, but I have my core verses
Yeah.
that just break chains in my mind. They set
Right.
me free. I'm feeling down. They just help me to refocus back on him, and they breathe life
Right.
back into me. So it's so important to have a couple of verses or
Yeah.
sayings, mantras that can just take you from the pity to the party, like
Right. Right.
that's what I
Right.
say.
Right. Yeah. And I totally agree, because that's what I had to do, is stop feeling sorry for myself. And
Yes.
that's what I realized I was doing, is I was just feeling sorry for myself, and the only person that I was really hurting was me. Um,
Exa-
and so,
exactly.
you know, God wanted me to go through that so that I can be here today talking to
Right.
you folks, and I think the
Yes.
same for you, Kelley. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
So what does community mean to you, and how do you think it's important to implement your part in community?
Oh my gosh, community is everything. And, years ago, I didn't understand that. I really didn't. I remember just I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. And
Mm-hmm.
even in that line of work, I did everything by myself. And it got very lonely. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized pretty much when COVID happened, I was
Right.
like, "Oh, man, now this is getting real, like, I'm really by myself." So that's where I really started reaching out, and I got myself into a faith in business women of faith in business community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Opened my eyes to so much. I was, like, blown away that all these women were like-minded like me. You
Mm-hmm.
wanna find people that you're like-minded with, whatever it
Right.
is. If you like biking, if you like mountain biking sewing or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
fishing, you know, you wanna find people that are like-minded, because that's what and you said it. It makes you feel that you're not alone in the things that
Mm-hmm.
you're going through, that there's other people going through the same things too, and that was eye-opening for me. And since then, since these last 5 years, I I'm always part of community. I've created my own community now with my daughter and we have our podcast, and it is a Christian podcast. It's called Chosen
Mm-hmm.
by Jesus. We're building our community together. We're doing live events now. And there's so much power when you get in the room with people that are on the same page as you, sharing. That's the way I've grown so fast over the last 5 years compared to my last
Mm-hmm.
40 years of living. It's all because of community. And
Mm-hmm.
community can really take us to the next level in our life.
Absolutely. And Jason is with us, and he says Jesus is love, and that's so true.
Yes.
And
So
amen. And yes, and we're
yes.
so grateful for this. I mean, totally. Um, I really appreciate the fact that you've taken time to come and join us. Um,
Absolutely.
we're getting close to about the time that you need to go, but I just
I
would
I
say
have a few
this.
more. I can do another 5 minutes if you have anything else.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
love
yeah. I do. I would
empowering.
like for you to share with the viewers, what advice would you give to the viewers If they're thinking about doing something and want transformational change, what would you suggest to them?
I would suggest don't wait because doubt's always going to be there. You're never going to be ready. Trust me, when no one is ever ready. And one of my best friends says, ready is a lie, and it is. So don't wait. Bet on yourself. Have faith. Know that if you have a vision for something greater in your life, then go with it. Let you listen. So many people don't listen to their gut instinct and they dismiss it. Oh, but that's, they have a thought, but they're not sure. And then they second guess themselves. Nobody has time anymore. Life is moving very fast. Like I said, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. That curveball.
Right.
Listen, last Monday, I woke up a week ago today. I woke up and found another lump on my breast. And I was really panicked because I've been breast cancer free for 17 years. So
Wow.
it was a punch to my gut. I did go get it checked. I had a mammogram and an ultrasound. I'm cancer free. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
However, you don't know what can happen in the morning when you wake up. So do the thing, make the phone call a friend, go do the things that you always wanted to do and stop playing small, because the only one that's going to miss out is you. Like you said a minute ago, right? We have to push ourselves out of comfort because staying can be so boring. So I say bet on yourself and trust your gut, pray more. You're not a prayerful person and you haven't prayed in a long time. I'm going to encourage you to start praying and just see how you feel. I know it works in mighty, mighty ways.
It truly does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's really good advice. The time is now. I think people have heard me say, the past is already over and done with, and we can't change the past. The future's not here yet, but we do have the present, and that's why it's called a gift, is because it is a present. It's a gift for us to do something with. And so we don't know what tomorrow holds. And so the time is now. Time is now.
Absolutely. That's the best advice right there. Right there. Yep, it is. Don't wait.
I want you to keep us updated. You've got sounds like some great events coming up. We would love to be kept up to speed on all of your successes. It sounds like you've got a lot of things going, and God does love you. You're so awesome, Kelley. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. I'm super excited. Definitely make sure you guys are following me if you're looking for events. We have a big event coming next January 2026 for, faith-fueled women. It's a Christian women conference. So a lot of great things coming up here. So I would love, reach out, say hi, DM me. I answer all my DMs. So I love texting with people, and that's how we met. You DM'd me. And so thankful. You form new relationships all the time. That's why we're on social media. So
That's it. So that we can meet new friends. And I'm so glad to have met you and appreciate you taking time for us. I know that you're a busy person. I've been running a banner at the bottom. We do want to look these up, folks. Seriously, https kelleytyan.com. She also has a 5-day devotional. She's also on LinkedIn. Come ask us questions. Sign up with Kelley for sure. And this, you have a 4-week program that you're doing as well.
Yes. So I run group programs as well as one-on-one. My next group program will launch again at the end of August, but it will the doors will open in July. So that's for women, entrepreneurs, leaders, and faith-based as well. And then I do a lot of one-on-one coaching as well. We all need support. We all need accountability. And sometimes a couple coaching sessions can just help us get to that next level. So absolutely reach out to me. The 5-day devotional is a free download. You can start there right on my website. I would love to gift you that. And then also you can listen to my podcast for free. Every
Oh,
Monday we
yeah.
drop a new episode. So Chosen by Jesus is on YouTube and audio. So I'd love for your listeners to find that as well.
Awesome. That sounds really great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, you got it. You got to look her up. She is a great person. Thank you so very much. Kelley, be well, be blessed, and have a great evening, huh?
Thank you so
very
much. You too. Thank you, Stephen, for having me. Have a great night.
You are welcome. Thank you, dear. Awesome. Was that really good? That was really good. She is such a wonderful person. And I'm so glad, that was an example of me. I got onto LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn and I got back onto it recently because I had to get back on everything because I lost my access to all the other sites I had. And that's okay because I had to do a start over thing. And so I did. I did because you're important. That's why I did it. I did it for you in the end. I mean, social media is a way to reach out to people and get to know them. And I got to know her on LinkedIn. And the next thing you know, well, took a little bit of time, but we got her here. And so we're very grateful. She brought up a couple things that I definitely want to address. Hopefully this will work properly. I'm gonna give it a try. I want to play this. This is I've titled it "Finding Joy in the Present." So I'm going to play this quick little part, and it talks about the LWN.
And that's what the LWN is all about, is helping to ground people, their spirituality, helping, to be present. And a lot of people in society, most, right? They're not fully present to enjoy life. So they're haunted by their past, or they're, hijacked by an imagined future.
That's Dr. Jenny. We truly love Dr. Jenny. She's so smart, and she hasn't been feeling real well lately, and we hope that she's going to get better really quick. And if you have needs for, more natural, pathic type of healing, that's an answer for real. All right, folks, hang on. We're going to go do a quick commercial.
We let our bathtub go too long. It had rust in it. It had deep pitting in it. There were chips. I, quite frankly, thought it was unrepairable.
Total Coatings is a family-owned and operated bathtub and shower refinishing company. We've been around since 2006, but we use a exclusive non-toxic porcelain coating that was developed over 60 years ago by a franchise in California. So the product is very well established. We refinish bathtubs, showers, wall tile, countertops, and even sinks. Customers want to know what makes our product different, and that's, of course, the exclusive non-toxic porcelain. We also don't acid etch the surface, so you don't have to leave your home because of noxious fumes.
I was completely and utterly shocked. It looked like a brand new bathtub. I would recommend Total Coatings to anybody.
So if you happen to be in Sarasota, Manatee, or Charlotte counties, reach out to Total Coatings. It is safe. It is non-toxic. That's why I'm involved in that, because it's safe. It's the only one out there that is safe in this area. You can reach them at Total Coatings, TOTALKOATINGS, and I'm going to look for that banner. It is right here somewhere. Refinishing your bathtub. So you can reach out to them and they can help you. I wanted to talk about overcoming, because that's part of what we try and do, is overcome the obstacles. It's a hashtag I've been using for quite some time. We just had John Spender on, and that's one of the things that I wrote about in that chapter in transformation was the overcoming part. When we overcome the obstacles, we can start going on the path towards enlightenment. I believe that we need direction from the Lord. And so pick up your Bible and read it, or go on YouTube. I do a lot of that too every day, and it is the first thing, just like Kelley talked about, that I do so that I can have a better life, and it does make life much more enjoyable. Do I get challenged? Oh, yeah. Of course, I get challenged, and the more that I help, the more I'll get challenged. But let's keep on moving here. I want to see if I do this right. Let's just try it. I'm going to change this and put. You know what? I had this epiphany today, and I just really wanted to share this with you folks. It is the reason why I'm here, why I'm doing this, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it starts when I was 19, and I happened to be with my mother, and I was coming back from a job from Yuba City, California to El Dorado, up in the hills, Highway 50 towards South Lake Tahoe. But anyways, we were coming down this 2-lane highway, straight road for like 10 miles. And then all of a sudden I was being diverted off that road to a side road. And my mom said, "What's going on?" So I go and I said, "Hang on, Mom. I need to go and see what's going on." So I did. It was a devastating situation that had taken place. A car accident had happened. All right. Kelley shared the same thing about her daughter being in a car accident, and it made me think of that and how that. And I realized that particular situation, I didn't pay attention at the time. And it was caused by a drunk driver, and 8 people died that day. 8 people. And I stepped around them in the street. They were already dead. It was devastating for me. It definitely shocked me. But it didn't shock me enough to realize that it was a message from God. Don't drink and drive. And so I did. Keep on drinking and kept on driving. As a result, yeah, I made some very serious mistakes. You've heard me say, yeah, broke out in handcuffs, did that. And it's okay because, yes, I don't feel good about my family, my friends, the people that I hurt. That does not make me happy, but it is all part of the picture where I had to like literally be in the desert for almost 40 some years before I finally realized you just don't ever need to drink and drive again. And how did I overcome it? Because I've overcome it multiple times for multiple years at times. I overcame it by the grace of God. I overcame it because I cared enough about my life and my foundation that I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. And that's what I do, is make a difference in people's lives. I hope, I get good feedback. Thank you. I want you to reach out to me if you need help. We can come up with answers for you. I said in the past, I don't know all the answers. I don't know all the Bible verses, but what I do know is that if I don't know, I probably know somebody that could help you. So that's the important factor. We can overcome these things. God gives us that ability, but he also gives us a free will to make a choice for life. So that's what we end up doing, is making that choice. And we can either be happy or we can enjoy our misery. And I certainly have done both. But you know what? I enjoy happiness and joy and having a good routine and eating healthy and loving my family and my friends and showing them that I love them and meeting new people and helping the homeless and helping people that are struggling with mental health issues and then helping the cancer community clearly. One more quick video. I think I showed it before, but I'll show it again. It is with Dr. Jenny. She's so intelligent. Here we go. Well, one of the things that I talked about was how I had to start looking at myself and, you know, doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting this different result, which never happened. So I had to look at myself so that I could get to the point where I could look in the mirror and say that I love you, Stephen, and love myself so that I could love people genuinely. That was part of it. I did tell people about just two of your accomplishments, which there's like, you'd probably write a book. I'm not kidding. But this one here is going to block us out. But you know what? This is awesome. You were the #1 global impact healthcare leader for 2023 and 2019. And that's just one of the many, many things that you do. And you are making such a major impact in the world. That's what we are going to do with the LWN. And
we need to be the change that we want to see happening in our society.
Right.
We want to help people heal from trauma, help people learn how to forgive, and to love the parts that they were taught to hide. Right?
Right. Because I was talking about humility and how that played a role in my upbringing when I was a kid. And thank you to my parents for that, because I had this little sign that said, "I'm humble," is what it said on it. And I'm not trying to act like I'm humble. I said that too. But it taught me that humility is an important factor. Because it is not all about me. You know, when it's all about me, the other person's being ignored. So when I put it about the other person first, and I loved myself, and so I'm doing it genuinely, I felt that that was a much better position to come from. Well, it was more authentic. And I've always believed authenticity is really important. It's not easy to be authentic. It wasn't for me for a very long time. If you're watching this, you're still with us. That's what's awesome. You're here for a reason. Enjoying your everyday life is what I try and do. I think that that's what you should try and do. If you're not, know that there's help. Know that you're perfect, really, the way that you are, even if you might have flaws. I mean, I had so many flaws, it's hard to keep track of them all. What I wanted to share is that the car accident thing, I went for a long time before I finally made the decision to stop drinking, stop drugs, devote your life to the Lord, work towards achieving a sense of peace, of serenity. And we can do that through the affirmations and a regular procedure that we use every single day. I'm not thinking of the right word here, but the fact of the matter is, I love you. God loves you. This was a good show. Maybe it prompted you to want to do something about it. Let me know. Let me know in the comments, because this did go to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. I want you to join me Mondays and Fridays at 7 p.m. I do this twice a week, and I do this for you so that we can learn from these influential leaders what they're doing, maybe how they had made some poor choices and then overcame those choices to start enjoying their everyday life. Happiness is really fun. You'll enjoy it. Do join us, though, because we're going to have a really powerful show again on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've got Andrea Fung. She is really awesome. I met her through a friend on a Friday or no Wednesday night. She is a quantum performance strategist. She helps bring brilliant beings home to themselves, and that's kind of what we're talking about. And so it's just going to take, part B or whatever, or ongoing story. That's what you're going to hear on the Get to Know broadcast, is the opportunity to inspire, to motivate, to become happy. It is a choice. You have to make it. I can't make it for you. You can do this. I just know that you can. But it starts with that thought, and then it starts with that action plan, and then it starts with starting a process of what do I need to do to achieve my goal. And you've heard me say it, start at the top, work your way back, and then start working on the steps, because you know where you want to be. Now we need to figure out how to get there. Everybody's different and everybody has different needs, but we'll be here to help you with those needs. I want to thank everybody. Do be here Friday, 7 p.m. for Andrea. She says performance comes from presence, clarity, and deep energetic alignment. So very true. She was an attorney in Australia. She's in Asia now. She knows NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It's really awesome. Okay, just come, be a part of it, share your thoughts, tell your family, and I appreciate your support. That's what I want you to know right now. I appreciate you for what you do. I appreciate you for watching the show and sharing it out if you want to. Know that you can go to E360 TV, download their platform, and watch it on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple, and Android TV. I want to thank you. We also want to thank our guest, Kelley Tyan. She's dynamic. I loved it, and I learned, and that's the whole point. I learned too. Right with you, folks. In the meantime, be well, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you. Take care and have a great day.